Some of the issues that are on the flyer are child support is overrated, deadbeat daddy syndrome, and the one we were just talking about was nerds versus thugs, and we were highlighting the fact that when we leave here today, we're going to have to deal with either a bully boss, a bully friend, associate, a bully police officer, so what we were just going over, what we were just building on was some of the ways that we can deal with.
When I was growing up, I used to be afraid of the old men on the corner. Now today, the old men are afraid of young boys on the corner.
Yes, sir.
We got to turn it back. Now, we got to get back to the discipline. I'm on top of my son. It's respect, period. That first boy that snatched the pocketbook in the hood back in the day, we found out who it was. That was my mother. We can't allow this to happen anymore. Enough is enough.
I came from a home that you were taught respect. Number one, for your mom and dad. If mom and father talking, you don't interrupt. You're going to sit your butt down in the corner. If they told you to do something, there was no compromise. It was a dictatorship in my father's house.
Yes.
My father told me, he said, look, you haven't been across the Florida line. How are you going to tell me what you need to do and what needs to happen in my household? I was working at Dade County School Board for 75 cents an hour back in the 60s. And I had 5 scholarships to go to college. And I said, now this is a guy who had no education, but he had vision. He said, what are you going to do, man? I said, well, I'm going to stay here. I thought I was in love. He said, well, I'm going to stay here and work. He said, no. He said, your brothers need your room. You need to pick one of these scholarships and go to school. And that's where all this stuff, I said, wow. And I hated him for a whole year. When I came back, I just hugged him. I just hugged him because, young kids just don't understand because they are not taught from day one how this world evolves.
Thank you, Mr.
Look, man, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react.
Yes, sir.
But that's a big thing, though. See, a lot of people don't understand that. Some people say, oh, I've been treated unfairly, or why is this happening to me? Mm-hmm. But the truth is, it's happening to millions of us out there. You know what I mean? So it's really your reaction. Attitude is a big factor in life. And I realized that personally, you know what I mean? Growing up, I just realized that when I start changing just to say for instance, like my relationship with my father, he's a real stubborn person, and we always used to clash, you know what I mean? I couldn't live there no more. We would always clashing heads. But what I learned is that I can't change somebody else, but I can change me. Mm-hmm. And when I change me, things start to work out, and even relationships start to get better, and you start to meet in the middle. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. So like you can change. You can't change nobody. You can't change that police officer. You can't change that teacher that's talking down on you. You can't change these people, but you can change yourself. Mm-hmm. And when you change yourself, and you start to realize that things get better in your life, man. And that's.
So we got
Man's culinary, music studios, radio studios, and part of that came from just talking to the kids and finding out what their interests were. We actually assumed that every black boy wanted to play football. That's just not true. It's just not true. Not all of them aren't good at football. Which is in fact true. They're just not good, and it's not their interest. Their parents pushed them into it because that's the only thing they have. So let's give them something else. Let's help them grow their imaginations. I'm a father. My son is 6 years old. It's my first job. But I don't see being a father to him so different as being the mayor, because I'm trying to build someplace that he's going to want to come back to. Right now, we expect so little from ourselves as a community, because traditionally we may do with less. What I'm saying is this: we are the most extraordinary group of people I've ever encountered. I went to law school with everybody. I graduated with honors. They said, black people don't pass the bar the first time, so I killed it.
I'm here to tell a lot of people today, one, income can support a family if it's two there and she's supporting him. I still believe that. People say I'm crazy. If the man is doing like the man's supposed to do by providing for his family, protecting his family, nurturing his family, being the head of his household. He don't have to fight. He don't have to worry when he come home. His peace, his foundation, his cloud of happiness is when he come home to his rib. That's his wife, so to speak. But that's what she's there for. That's a role that's missing. You find women that want to be the man. You find women that want to be the boss, and then they want to carry, and then this child is growing up confused as hell and wondering why ain't no man in this house. Ain't no man gonna put up with that coming home, and he got to be submissive to his wife.
No, that's good.
I'm glad he asked me to come here. I told him all I know how to do is tell you the truth. I don't know how to lie.
Okay, so my point is, it doesn't matter whether you're right, you can still be dead right. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you know. What's more important is what we would call, my father's a minister, what's more important is love. Yes, that's what you were saying, but you didn't say it. It doesn't matter how many times they do wrong, they don't even know they're doing wrong. I've done wrong, didn't know I was doing wrong. I've been protected and been in situations where I should have been incarcerated, but because of love, somebody looked at me and said, you know what, I see something in you that shows me that you have love. Whether you know what you're doing or not, whether you're moving in a reprobate mind or not, you have love. And because of that love, I'm gonna give you a chance. A silent tongue, and I'll say this, like they say in law enforcement, you have the right to remain silent. A silent tongue has never betrayed anyone. When we first master that art of silence,
Yes, sir.
and learn to move in that order of demeanor, then we are as one, a loud voice in the people. Because the powers that you need will always come to the rescue, but you first have to look within. That sometimes means that you have to take that smack. When they talk about turning the other cheek, that means you turn, but that don't mean that you turn and stop. That means you turn a full 360. And by the time you turn around, the arts that I learned and taught me, when I turn back around, it might be with the wrath of God, but I'm gonna take that turn first.
May I ask, what was the final outcome?
I was let go and given a warning because I ran a green light and I tapped my brakes going through a green light in an unfamiliar neighborhood. But that happened to be a drug-infested neighborhood that I had no cognizance of, and it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
But if it had been 12 o'clock at night, I would have been arrested and detained and incarcerated, which I won't even go into further discussion about who I am and what has happened to me since I've been in this state.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. That was very enlightening.
Learn when you kind of update technology, everything. You're going to school and you got these beat up books. You got the raggedy computers that take you 30 minutes just to get on a page so you can do a test. Sometimes these things put you in an area where you're like, I'm sick of school, or I'm sick of this, I don't want to do it, I'm tired of this old lame school, I'm done. And it puts you in a position where you don't want to learn, you don't want to do things. Sometimes I think if we had a better opportunity, say if you put me in a community where I was in a white school all day, we got laptops, everything, where my teacher is constantly converting on us, teaching us this, and that. If I need help steadily, he would tell me stay after school, I'll help you with this, and that. When nowadays you go to school, all the teacher's thinking about is a paycheck. You can go to school right now, you see the teacher on her phone more than y'all on y'all phone in the classroom. You like, God, she gonna teach today? No, do paragraph 8 through 6, chapter 9 through 7, questions 50 through 92. And that's just the end of the day, and that's the teaching. When I was in elementary, it wasn't like that. The teacher went through everything, broke it down, variable by variable, and let you know how to do it. That's how you learn. But you just putting something in my face and telling me to learn and thinking I'm going just, okay, yeah, I learned this, I know it now. It's not going to happen. It got to be some type of interaction. It got to be some type of feedback.
And demand. And so the urgent need and demand to reach our youth, the accessibility. Judging our youth from the lens of how we were raised will never work. Never. You have to have accessibility. And after you have accessibility, then you can think about building affinity. But accessibility is first, and that takes from dialogue, that takes patience, that takes loving them more than they hate themselves, that takes patience, that takes prayer. It just takes tenacity more than, you just have to turn the other cheek. And so the exigencies of our youth, their well-being, that demand for reaching them, it's greater than anything that we have in our personal lives. So I want to just continue to support Will. This is a great effort. I really am enjoying myself. I like what I hear. I would really encourage us to not be critical of each other. This is a war, and so we're going to fight them on different battles, from different angles. Some are going to fight on the internet, some are going to fight in the classroom. Well, we all going to fight this war with different battles, but our ultimate aim is to win our youth and give them a better sense of themselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you.